What do you know from funny, you bastard?
The Jell-O program, starring Jack Benny with Mary Livingston and Phil Harris and his orchestra.
Thank you. This is Groucho Marx. Well, here I am, stepping in over my head again.
With Fibber McGee and Molly.
Folks, this is just as new to me as it is to you. Hello?
Hello, Mr. Benny, this is Rochester. The Great Gildersleeve.
Well, what an original greeting.
Hello and welcome to another week of comedy, funny, haha, on Dwayne Old Time Radio. One thing, please subscribe to my channel. If you enjoy what I'm doing, subscribing is 100% free. Also, one more thing, if you have a few seconds or 1 minute, please leave a review on your preferred podcast service, especially if you're on Apple, Spotify, or really just your preferred podcast service. Thank you, and hope you enjoy. We're going to end the month, as usual, with Jack Benny. And one more New Year's Eve, I guess you could say, bit. Goodbye, 1938, January 1st, 1939.
The Jell-O program, starring Jack Benny with Mary Livingston, Phil Harris, Kenny Baker, and yours truly, Don Wilson. The orchestra opens the program with No Wonder. Well, here we are at the beginning of another year, and Jell-O wants to send greetings to all of you. And we've received a letter that makes a swell New Year's greeting for us. It's from a woman who's been using Jell-O year in and year out for the past 37 years. She is Mrs. C.C. Brown of Huntington, West Virginia. And listen to what she writes. We bought our first package of Jell-O in December 1902. We lived in the country then and made few trips to a store, so the Jell-O was a bit of a luxury, saved for the holiday gathering of kin and friends. Needless to say, Jell-O made a hit, and we've used it exclusively ever since. When I had my own home, I wanted something special. Nothing so filled the requirements as Jell-O. In all those 37 years of use, I've never had a package that wasn't perfect, and Jell-O is a prime favorite with my family. Well, thank you, Mrs. Brown. That's a grand letter to start us off on 1939, and to the rest of you, we'd like to say, if you want to give your family their prime favorite dessert, if you want to enjoy that delicious, extra-rich fruit flavor, look for the big red letters on the box. They spell Jell-O. And now, ladies and gentlemen, this being the first day of the new year, it behooves me to introduce the star of this program in a manner befitting his dignity and position.
Well.
He is a man whose illustrious character and many fine qualities have my sincere admiration.
Oh, Don, please.
A man whose lovable nature and unselfish devotion to others...
Say, Jack.
Quiet, Mary. I want to hear this. Go ahead, Don.
Whose unselfish devotion to others has endeared him to the hearts of his public.
How true.
So I bring you none other than that sparkling, scintillating, outstanding personality...
That's not me. I'll kill myself.
Jack Benny.
Hello again. This is Jack Benny talking, one of the sweetest guys I've ever met. And, Don, I want to thank you for that beautiful introduction. You know, as a rule, a man has to be dead before he gets such a lovely tribute.
Well, I wrote it just before the broadcast while you were lying down.
Oh, you didn't expect me to get up, eh? Well, I am pretty tired after last night. Hey, by the way, Don, what did you do New Year's Eve? Did you have any fun?
Oh, I had a swell time, Jack. Simply wonderful.
That's good.
First, I took my wife to a movie, and then we went to the Coconut Grove to celebrate.
Well, that was nice. First the picture, and then the Coconut Grove. I suppose you danced a lot.
No, my wife left her shoes in the movies.
Well, there's nothing like relaxing at the cinema. I often slip my shoes off myself, but I'm getting so absent-minded I'm not going to do it anymore.
You're not?
No, the other night at Grauman's Chinese, I was clear down to my underwear before the usher stopped me. it was embarrassing.
I can imagine. Well, tell me, Jack, how did you spend New Year's Eve? Any excitement last night?
Well, I had a fairly good time, Don. I took Mary to the Wilshire Bowl, where Phil Harris is playing.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Say, you had a pretty good time in my place last night, didn't you, Jackson?
Yes, I had a nice time, Filson. But as long as it was your place, you might have seen that I got a decent table.
What are you talking about? Your table wasn't so far away.
It wasn't. I was so far from the bandstand, I couldn't even see the circles under your eyes. It's a fine table.
Oh, you're exaggerating, Jack. There were a lot of people sitting behind you.
Listen, Phil, the only people sitting behind me were from Pasadena, and they were home at the time. What a New Year's Eve.
Well, Jack, maybe Phil couldn't help it. New Year's Eve's a big night, and after all, first come, first serve.
That's what burns me up, Don. I was the first one in the place. I got there so early, the manager asked me to help blow up the balloon. How do you like that?
Well, you got paid for it, didn't you?
That's not the point. Now, let me tell you another thing, Phil. I don't mind my table being far away, but the next time you seat me behind a post, please see that there's a knothole in it.
Behind a post? What are you talking about?
Oh, never mind.
Hello, Jack. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. I was just telling Phil about the fine table he gave us last night. Imagine seating us behind a post. It burns me up.
You're crazy, Jack. We weren't behind a post.
We weren't?
No, that was a piece of confetti on your glasses.
Well, why didn't you tell me? I nearly broke my neck trying to peek around it. Anyway, post or no post, we were certainly sitting far enough away from everything.
Well, I'm glad we were. I was so ashamed sitting next to you with that old-fashioned tuxedo you had on. Why don't you buy a new one?
Oh, how often do I wear a tuxedo? Besides, it isn't so old.
It isn't?
No.
Go on. I put my hand in your pocket and pulled out a program from Ford's Theater.
Listen, Mary, that suit might be a little out of style, but they're still wearing single-breasted... Now, listen, Mary, that suit might be a little out of style, but they're still wearing single-breasted tuxedos.
Not with a belt in the back.
Well, they're coming back, so don't be so smart.
Mary's right, Jack.
Oh, she is.
Your pants were so tight you had to wear your garters on the outside.
Listen, Maestro, one more crack out of you, and you'll be leading the organ on the Lum and Abner program. And another thing, Phil, the next time I dance by your orchestra, watch your baton. Remember that.
Okay, buddy.
Buddy, yes. Incidentally, fellas, this being the new year, I was going to give you all a raise in salary, but the way you've been acting today, I'm not going to do it.
I'd be satisfied just to get my regular salary on time.
Now, wait a minute, Phil. Don't give me that. I put your check in the mail every Monday morning.
Well, from now on, don't pin it on a postcard. I don't want people to know what I'm making.
All right, Phil, cut out the beefing. Let's see if we can't inaugurate the new year with a little harmony.
Oh, Jack, you want to hear something awful?
What, Mary?
Here it is, New Year's, and I forgot to write a poem about it.
Oh, that's a shame.
I'll sit right down and dash one off.
Okay, hurry it up.
I'll fill in a little time for you, Mary. Ladies and gentlemen, while Miss Livingston is struggling with her latest brainchild, let me remind you that one of the best ways to start out the new year is to have Jell-O for dessert.
Darn this pen.
It is tempting, delicious, easy to make, and comes in 6 delicious flavors.
Hey, Jack, how do you spell knowledge? With an N or a K?
With a K.
Strawberry, raspberry, cherry.
With a capital K?
Orange.
Yes, a capital K.
Lemon and lime, for heaven's sake.
I'm sorry, Don. And now, folks, going from the...
All right, Jack, I'm all set.
Why, Mary, is your poem finished already?
Yeah?
Gee, you work faster than George Bernard Shaw.
Well, his beard gets in his way.
Oh, that's right. What's the title of your poem?
Goodbye, 1938. Hello, 1939.
Well, that covers everything. Go ahead.
Oh, Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Please don't be a sad and blue year. These last 12 months have been sublime. So goodbye, 38. Hello, 39.
Well, so far, nobody is screaming.
You just wait.
Oh.
I wonder who this coming year will be our favorite movie star. Will it be Garbo or Sonia Heine? So goodbye, 38. Hello, 39.
90.
What has this year in store for us? For thee and thou, and thy and thus. Will Don get fatter? Will Phil be gay? Will Kenny get knowledge with a capital K?
I doubt it.
I'd like to ask you, if I dare, will Jack continue to lose his hair?
Mary.
And when it's gone, will it say away? Goodbye, 38. Hello, toupee.
Mary, get to the last verse, will you?
It's coming up now.
That's good.
Oh, Happy New Year, Happy New Year. Please don't be a sad and blue year. We will give you one more chance. So goodbye, Broadway. Hello, France.
Well. Mary, you finally did it. Hey, Phil, do you think you can follow Mary's poem with a number?
I'll try.
Okay, hit it, boys. Wait a minute. Come in.
Mr. Benny?
Yes?
Oh, Happy New Year, Happy New Year. To the greatest man I know. And I bring you fondest greetings. There's a wagon. I must go.
Well, I'm glad they let him out for our program. Play, Phil. Kiss, played by Phil Harris and his original orchestra. And now, ladies and gentlemen...
Original?
Yeah.
Wait a minute, Jack. This isn't the band I started out with.
I don't mean that, Phil. I mean when they look at their music, they still play something original. And speaking of the band, Phil, you'd think that they could start out the new year by dressing a little better. Where'd they get those awful-looking neckties?
Aren't they atrocious?
They certainly are. Where'd they get them?
I gave them to them for Christmas.
Oh. And saying that reminds me, Phil, that was some Christmas present you sent me. You must have been under the weather when you bought it.
Oh, no, I wasn't. I was sober as a judge when I bought your gift.
You were not.
I was, too.
Then let me ask you something. What use have I got for a porthole? Isn't that a fine present, Mary? A porthole.
Well, if your head gets any bigger, you can use it for a monocle.
All right, don't make it any worse than it is. Oh, hello, Kenny.
Hiya, Jack. Happy New Year.
Well, Kenny, I see you're still celebrating. You must have had a good time last night.
I'll say. I didn't get to bed until 10 o'clock. Gosh, I'm a wreck.
Kenny, how can you be a wreck if you went to bed at 10 o'clock?
I slept in a folding bed and I forgot to pull it down.
Well, it's none of my business, Kenny, but would you mind telling me how you got into a folding bed without pulling it down first?
I'm not going to tell till I get it patented.
Oh, that's right. Guard your secret carefully. And stop blowing that horn.
Well, I'm practicing for the Rose Bowl game at Pasadena tomorrow. Say, are you going, Jack?
I certainly am. I wouldn't miss it for anything. Hey, Mary, I got a couple of good seats. You want to go with me?
No. I went with you last year, and you were the only one in the stand wearing a raccoon coat and a beanie.
Well?
And the way you were waving that pennant around, I was so embarrassed.
Well, what's wrong with waving a pennant?
Yours said Waukegan High School on it.
All right, you don't have to go with me. I'll take somebody else. You want to go with me, Kenny?
Sure, but I'll have to bring my girl along.
Well, I don't see how, Kenny. I've only got 2 seats.
Well, I'll invite her anyway. Maybe we can lose her in the crowd.
Yes, that ought to solve our problem. Incidentally, I mislaid my ticket somewhere in the house. I hope Rochester finds them.
Hey, Jack, who do you pick to win the game, Duke or USC?
Well, Phil, I'm a USC man myself, and I think it's a cinch for them to win.
Oh, you do, eh? Well, how much do you want to bet?
I didn't say anything about betting, Phil. I just told you who was going to win.
Well, if you're so sure about it, why don't you want to bet?
Because gambling is naughty. And you know it.
You mean because you're a scaredy cat?
Scaredy cat, listen, Harris, what are the odds on the game?
2 to 1 on USC.
All right, wise guy, I'll bet you 20 cents to a dime, and put up or shut up. Well, what are you stalling for, Harris?
He's afraid if he wins, you'll fire him.
That's it.
I thought you'd welch on it.
20 cents to a dime. Make that $100 to 50 and you got a bet.
Don't try to show off, Phil. You had your chance. Now, let's drop it.
You know, I don't think Jack wanted to bet at all.
Think? Kenny, your job on this program is to sing.
Well, I can have a hobby, can't I?
You better stick to stamps, Kenny, and go ahead with your song so we can get to do our play tonight.
Okay.
Hold it a minute. That must be Rochester. I asked him to call me. Hello?
Hello, Mr. Billy. This is Rochester.
Yeah, I was waiting for your call. Did you find my 2 tickets for the Rose Bowl game?
No, I look high and low. I can't find them anywhere.
Oh, God, that's a shame. Well, keep on looking. They might be in the house. They must be in the house someplace.
Okay.
So long.
So long. Say, boss, can I have tomorrow off? I gotta go to a wedding in Pasadena.
A wedding in Pasadena. Tell me, Rochester, who's getting married?
What was that, boss?
I said, who's getting married in Pasadena tomorrow?
Oh, aunt of mine.
An aunt of yours, eh? Who's she marrying?
Some fella that's going to be my uncle.
Uh-huh, I see. Now, at what time does this wedding take place?
They kick off about 1:30.
What's that? What did you say?
Nothing. Keep quiet, operator.
Rochester, there was no operator on the line. Now, you found those Rose Bowl tickets, didn't you?
Well,
You found those tickets, didn't you?
Am I under oath?
Answer me. Did you or did you not find those tickets?
Sing, Kenny.
Listen, Rochester, when I get home tonight, I want to find those 2 tickets on the dresser in my bedroom.
Okay, boss. Happy New Year.
Go ahead and sing, Kenny. That Rochester, the only way I can keep things in my house is to nail him down.
I promise you with heart sincere that I will always love you, dear. That when you need me, I'll be near. I promise you. My love for you is as great as a love can be. Yet words couldn't quite express the way that I feel. And as we stand at the doorway of days to be, I faithfully take an oath on all that concerns us both. I promise you with heart sincere that I will always love you, dear. That when you need me, I'll be near. I promise you. I promise you I'll build a shrine where we can keep our love divine. till the very end of time, I promise you. With every dawn that I awaken, I know my chances will increase to keep the vow I've taken, to see that your joys never cease. I promise you your heart will sing in what will seem eternal spring. I'll try to bring you everything I promise you.
That was I Promise You, sung by Kenny Baker. And Kenny, that was very good for a fellow who stayed up until 10 o'clock. Your voice hardly showed it.
Oh, I'll put myself together in a couple days.
I hope so. And Kenny, if you got to bed at 10 o'clock last night, how'd you get those awful circles under your eyes?
I painted them on. Ain't I nuts?
You sure are. And now, ladies and gentlemen, for our feature attraction this evening...
I was going to paint wrinkles on my forehead, but my mother wouldn't let me.
Well, she was right. And now, ladies and gentlemen...
If I was Kenny's mother, I'd trade him in for an Airedale.
Now, Mary, Kenny's mother wouldn't do that. And now, folks...
We've got an Airedale.
All right. If you two will quiet down, I'd like to get on with our play. And now, folks...
You know something, Kenny? I never met your mother.
Oh, you didn't?
Phil, for heaven's sake, who cares? Now, let's get on with the play. Everybody's butting in here but Don.
Well, I met Mrs. Baker.
Oh. Well, I'm very happy to know it. And now, folks, going from Mrs. Baker to our feature attraction of the evening, this being the first day of the new year, tonight we are going to present an original play, a sort of a New Year's fantasy, entitled The New Tenant, or Goodbye 38, Hello 39. Now, I will...
You stole that from my poem.
Mary, that was just a coincidence, believe me. Now, in this fantasy, I will play the part of 1938. And Mary...
You know, Jack, I read this play 4 times, and I still can't understand it.
Well, in the first place, Kenny, our play is a little too deep. And in the second place, you're a little dope. Now, I will be 1938, and Mary will be Mrs. 1938, my loving, loyal wife. And we have 12 children. What are you laughing at?
I don't know. It's censored.
Then keep still. Now, our play opens in the home of Mr. and Mrs. 1938, who live in a big round house called the Earth. It is almost midnight on December 31st, and their lease is about to expire. Curtain. Music. Oh, Mariah.
What do you want, Pa?
Better hurry up with that packing. The landlord said we got to get out by midnight to make room for the new tenant.
The new tenant? Who is he?
Oh, some little nudist by the name of 39. He don't know what he's getting into, does he, Ma?
Nope. This house sure has been a mess, ain't it?
You said it. Remember a couple of months ago when the bathtub ran over and got New England soaking wet?
I sure do. And say, Pa, what about the time last spring when the roof leaked and we had to hang Los Angeles out to dry?
Wasn't that awful?
Yep. Hey, Pa, turn on the moon. I can't see what I'm packing here.
Okay. Hey, Moon.
What do you want, you old fossil?
I want some light down here. And quit winking at my wife.
Okay. Say, you want some milk, too?
Milk?
Yeah, a cow just jumped over me.
Well, I'll be darned.
Quit gabbing, Pa. We ain't got much time.
That's right. Darn those shooting stars, they're having a feud again.
Doggone it, Pa. Even with all our troubles, I kind of hate to leave here.
So do I. After all, we did have a lot of fun.
Remember the time that scallywag Howard Hughes flew around our house in 5.5 days?
Do I? He sure had me dizzy. And then that fella Corrigan. He started to fly from the kitchen to the parlor, and the darn fool ended up on the back porch.
Say, Pa, did you pack up all the swing music?
I'm doing it now. Flatfoot bluesy with the Floyd. Might as well take that with us. Say, Ma, it's 5 minutes to 12. We better start rounding up the kids. Where are they?
Well, January, February, and March, they're outside playing on a cloud.
Oh, where's April?
He's taking a shower.
Oh, he's always doing that.
The rest of them around here someplace.
Well, tell him to stick close. We're going to leave in just a few minutes.
I wonder who that can be.
I'll go over and see. A tisket, a tasket. Boy, am I sick of that. Well, look who's here.
Who is it, Paul?
It's old man Mars from across the Milky Way. Hiya, Mars.
Hiya, neighbor. Heard you were leaving tonight, so thought I'd drop over and say goodbye.
Well, that was mighty sweet of you.
Say, I sure handed you a scare a couple of months ago, didn't I?
You certainly... Hey, what was the big idea, anyway?
Well, I really didn't mean it. I was lighting a cigarette, and I reached down in the Hudson River to put the match out.
And what happened?
Well, my hand slipped, and I gave New Jersey a hot foot.
You sure did. Say, Mars, you'll have to excuse me now. It's almost midnight, and I got to be getting out of here. So long.
So long. Oh, say, I got my rocket ship outside. Can I give you a lift anywhere?
No, thanks. We'll be all right. Say, those rocket ships smoke a lot, don't they?
Yeah, the exhaust pipes are bad. I just flew by heaven, and now angels really got dirty faces.
Well, if you pass by the other place, give my regards to Fred Allen. So long, Mars.
So long.
Well, Ma, it's almost midnight, so put on that silly hat of yours and let's get going.
Okay, Pa.
There's the first stroke of 12. I wonder what's keeping the new tenant.
Don't worry, he'll be here.
Doggone, Ma, I forgot to find out where we're moving to.
Thought you bought a place over on Jupiter.
No, but I took a look at Venus. Time's a-fleeting. We can't leave until that little brat gets here.
That must be him now.
Yep. Come in. Well, hello, young fella. Are you the little New Year?
I ain't Bobby Green.
Well, my boy, come right in. Well, this is it, young man. Tell me, what do you think of your new home?
Boy, what a dump. This house could stand a lot of fixing up.
I know it, son. There are a lot of things wrong here, my boy. Yes, sirree. That Spanish shawl on the piano there is all ripped and torn. Need a lot of mending. And another thing, the china's just about all smashed to pieces. And while I think of it, son, if you see some little lost sheep roaming about, try and find a place for them around the house somewhere.
I'll do what I can. For heaven's sake, let's get going.
Just a second more. Now, there's just one more thing, young fella.
What's that?
May not sound like much, but it's a mighty big issue. Your greatest worry, my boy, is going to be to pick out a Scarlet O'Hara. That had me groggy all year.
Come on, Pa, you're talking too much.
I'm coming, Ma. Say, young fella, if you want any Jell-O, you'll find plenty in the pantry.
Thanks, old-timer.
You're welcome. Happy New Year, young fella.
Happy New Year.
Come on, Ma, let's go.
Here's a swell new dessert for the holiday season. It's one the whole family will enjoy, and it's easy to prepare. It's Jell-O butterscotch pudding. And until you've tried it, you don't know just how delicious a pudding dessert can be. Creamy smooth, rich and tasty, with that real old-fashioned butterscotch flavor that will bring the family back for more. Then try the new Jell-O vanilla pudding. Tempting, delicate, and full flavored. And a Jell-O chocolate pudding, smooth and chocolatey, the kind that Mother used to make, but far quicker and easier. For all three Jell-O puddings take next to no time to prepare. There's only a few minutes cooking required. You'll find the simple directions on every package. And these new puddings will be a real surprise to you, for they're just as good as your own. Made with the same fine, wholesome ingredients, with a taste and texture you'll say is perfect. The best way to buy is to get 3 packages at a time. So ask your grocer for Jell-O butterscotch, vanilla, and a chocolate pudding. The real homemade kind.
This is the last number of the 14th program in the new Jell-O series. And we will be with you again next Sunday night at the same time. Are you listening, Tommy? And now, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to announce that in response to many, many requests, and owing to a renewed and timely interest, we are going to present our version of Walt Disney's famous picture, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, next Sunday night. So if you missed it the first time, folks, be sure and tune in. And if you heard it, tune in anyway, as we're going to have a brand new Prince Charming. Guess who, folks? Oh, Andy, you gave it away. Good night, folks.
K-E-L-L. On the Jello program, courtesy of Mervyn Leroy Productions. The Jello program, brought to you by Jello and Jello Pudding, starring Jack Benny, with Mary Livingston, Phil Harris, Dennis Day, and yours truly, Don Wilson. The orchestra opens the program with Are You Ready? Ladies and gentlemen, have you a treat in store for you? What a grand surprise the moment you discover Jello's new locked-in flavor. Never until now has any gelatin dessert been able to bring you so much delightful goodness. Because up until now, gelatin desserts constantly faded in flavor while waiting to be used and brought you only a shadow of their original richness. But that's all been changed. Today, Jello's tempting, tantalizing flavor is locked right into the tiny Jello particles, where time can't get at it to steal it away. No matter how long Jello remains in the package, it retains its luscious flavor to the very last. Now, you be the judge. Open a package of Jello. Notice the absence of any heavy, fruity aroma, the usual sign of escaping flavor. Then dissolve Jello, and presto, there's your flavor, all of it, the full-strength flavor of Jello, as rich and vivid as the day it was locked into Jello's delicate crystal-like particles. So try Jello, now made better than ever by Jello's new locked-in process. The flavor never goes away. We put it in, and it's there to stay. Played by the orchestra. And now, ladies and gentlemen, as you all know, next Friday, October 31st, is Halloween, and will be celebrated by gay parties throughout the land.
Yes, sir. We'll play games and everything.
So tonight, we bring you a man who always loses his bridge bobbing for apples, Jack Benny.
Thank you. Jello again. This is Jack Benny talking, and Don. That was a very funny introduction. Losing my bridge, bobbing for apples. Did you think of that all by yourself?
Yes, I did, Jack. It was my own little brainchild.
Well, it certainly is clever. I mean, the way you expose all my faults and my defects.
People enjoy it, too.
Yes, they do. You know, Don, they have a program out here where a man sits by himself in a small room and plays phonograph records all night long. He's called Hank, the Night Watchman.
Uh-huh.
Well, one more introduction like that, and you're going to be known as Don, the Decca Dayman. In other words, I don't want to set the world on fire. I just want to start a flame with your contract. By the way, Don, getting back to Halloween... Oh, hello, Mary.
Hello, Jack. How are you?
Getting back to Halloween... Oh, fine, thanks. Getting back to Halloween...
You didn't have to answer me, you know.
What's that for? Coming in so mad. What's the matter with you today?
Well, you know that new usher they got at the reception desk, that tall, good-looking fellow?
Yeah?
When I came in just now, he winked at me.
Oh, a fresh guy, huh?
He's not going to take me out tonight.
Well, I don't blame you.
I asked him, but he's busy.
All right, so much for romance. Now, Don, what were we,
Oh, you mentioned something about Halloween.
Oh, yes. Are you going out with us next Friday night and have some fun? You know, ring doorbells and everything?
Oh, I don't know. You don't have the excitement nowadays that you used to have on Halloween.
I guess you're right.
Well, I remember back in Denver when I was a kid, we used to have the time of our lives.
Denver? You should have seen the way we celebrated Halloween in a little country town like Waukegan. The old-fashioned pranks we used to play. But kids don't have fun like that anymore.
What do you want, plumbing or fun?
Oh, guys. Guys, Don, the things I used to do in those days. I'll never forget one Halloween. You know, I was a little boy then, and I took the chop suey sign off a Chinese restaurant and nailed it over the front door of our house. Oh, boy. Huh?
The chop suey sign, huh? Was your father mad when he saw it?
No, he just hung a tail on his derby and went into business. That's how my sister Florence came to be known as Lotus Blossom. We had some restaurant, chopped liver and suey. And then the following year... Oh, hello, Phil. Are you coming out with us Halloween?
Yeah, Jackson, but I can't meet you until after 9 o'clock. I got to go to night school.
Oh. Well, I'll tell you what, Phil. We'll meet you in front of the school about 9:15. How's that?
Okay, I'll bring my long pants with me and slip them on.
What? Now, wait a minute, Phil. Don't tell me you wear short pants to night school.
Look, Jackson, I'm in 3rd grade and I'm going to dress like it.
Oh, by all means. 3rd grade, eh? The rate you're going, you'll get your Social Security and diploma on the same night. No kidding, Phil. Why don't you give up night school?
Nothing doing. I don't want to be a maroon.
That's moron. Look, Phil, just wear your short pants all the time. Say, I wonder if Dennis wants to come along Friday. Where is the kid, anyway?
I called him yesterday, and his mother told me that he's been asleep ever since we got back from New York.
Well, I'll be darned. See, I didn't know the kid was so lazy.
What do you mean, lazy? You made Dennis share your berth on the train, then you snored so loud he couldn't rest for 4 nights.
Oh, for heaven's sake, Mary. It's impossible for me to snore because I recently had my adenoids removed. I had an operation.
Some operation. Rochester hasn't even got a license.
Oh, stop. You thought he couldn't build me a barbecue pit either. You should see it. Say, Don, speaking of our trip, I meant to ask you, is your wife still mad at me for putting you both in one berth?
Well, I thought she was, Jack, but strangely enough, as I was leaving the house this morning, she handed me a cake.
A cake?
Yes, she baked it especially for you.
Especially for me, eh?
I'll give it to you right after the broadcast.
Well, especially for me, eh? Well, thanks very much, Don, but you see I'm on a diet right now, and I have to cut out fattening poison. I mean cake. Thanks a lot, though. Huh?
Oh, Jack, don't be silly. Mrs. Wilson wouldn't poison you. She's one of the nicest girls I ever met.
Listen, Mary, I saw a show in New York called Arsenic and Old Lace, and 2 of the sweetest old ladies you ever laid your eyes on bumped off a dozen men. 12 of them.
Yes, but they gave him elderberry wine.
What you can do with wine, you can do with cake. I ain't eating it, sister.
Oh, Jackson, don't act like a baby.
All right, Phil, let's drop the cake and have a band number. Tell Peggy thanks, Don. Well, how about a number, Phil? What are you going to play?
Now, wait a minute, Jackson. You won't laugh if I tell you, will you?
No. What's it going to be?
Poet and Peasant Overture.
Are you kidding? Well, let's have it. I may be sorry I didn't eat that cake before this is over. That was a special arrangement of Poet and Peasant Overture played by Phil Harris and his peasants. There can't be a poet in that bunch. That number was okay, Phil.
You liked it, huh, Jackson?
Yes, but I have one suggestion to make. If you're going to play a number like that every week, I think I'll have to augment your orchestra.
Augment?
Yes.
Tell him what it means before he puts on his short pants again.
Phil, augment means to increase or enlarge. For instance, you ought to add a bassoon to your orchestra, and a French horn, and a harp.
Sorry, Jackson, the harp's out.
What do you mean?
I had one once, and all the boys hung their socks on it.
Oh, well, if you had a bassoon, you could hit them over the head for doing it. And now, ladies and gentlemen, for our first play of the new season, we are going to... Well, look who's here.
Hiya, Mr. Benny. Hello, everybody.
Well, you certainly look rested now, Dennis.
Boy, oh, boy, do I feel good. You want to wrestle, Miss Livingston?
Dennis, behave yourself.
Let him alone. I'll give him a toe hold so fast he won't know what hit him.
Mary, put your coat back on. Be a lady, will you?
On this clam bake?
How can you call this program a clam bake when Phil just played Poet and Peasant? Now, let's settle down. And now, ladies and gentlemen, as I started to announce, tomorrow, October 27th, is Navy Day. So tonight, in honor of this occasion, we will present our version of that stirring drama of the Naval Air Force, that epic of heroism, that sensational Warner Brothers production, Dive Bomber. Thank you, Dive.
You're a bomber.
Now, in this sketch, I will play the part of the young flight surgeon as portrayed on the screen by dashing, daring Errol Flynn, which happens to be the most important role in the picture. Now, let's see.
But, Jack, I saw the picture, and I thought that Fred McMurray, as the test pilot, had the most important part.
Who? McMurray?
Yes, he did some very heroic things. In fact, the audience applauded him the night I saw it.
They did? Oh. Well, Phil, then you'll be Errol Flynn, and I'm going to be Fred McMurray.
I'd never drop Flynn that fast.
Never mind. Now, it's all set. Phil is Errol Flynn, I'm Fred McMurray, and Dennis, you're going to be Ralph Bellamy.
Oh, boy, he had the best part of the whole darn picture.
Who? Bellamy?
Yeah, he was a great doctor, and the whole story was built around him.
It what? Well, now, let's see. Phil, you're going to be Errol Flynn. That's settled. Dennis, you'll be Fred McMurray, and I'll be Ralph Bellamy. Yes, that'll work out fine. Now, let's see.
Say, Jack.
Yeah?
If you ask me, Wayne Morris stole the whole picture.
What? Who? Wayne Morris?
Yeah, he was terrific.
No kidding? Well, fellas, it's all settled. I'm going to be Wayne Morris. Yeah.
Good. He wasn't even in the picture.
Wait a minute. What's going on here? I'm going to play Ralph Bellamy, and that's the end of it. Mary, you're going to be a nurse. And Don, you're going to be the B-19, so stick your arms out. And now, ladies and gentlemen, this play will go on immediately after a song by Dennis Day. Go ahead, Dennis. Hold it a minute. Come in. Oh, hello.
Hello, Mr. Benny. Can I see you about that now?
Yes, wait out in the hall. I'll be right with you. Excuse me, fellas.
Say, that little boy looks familiar.
Well, don't you recognize him, Don? That's the kid who was on the train with us last week.
The one that said he was going to be a gag man for Bob Hope?
Yeah, now Jack is trying to sign him up first. I'm going to open up the door and listen.
Sure, kid. I know Bob Hope's a nice guy. But why do you want to work for him? In the first place, he's very tough to write for.
What are you talking about? I can write 1,000 gags about his nose alone.
You think that's something? Listen, kid, I've got rheumatism and flat feet. And you see this bridge?
Yeah?
Look, it comes out. Why, I'm a cinch to write for. Now, what do you say?
Well, what's your offer?
Now, listen, kid. You're young and you've got your health. Now, look, money we won't talk about.
the heck we won't.
This kid's going to be tough, but he's clever. Now, look, son, by the way, what's your name?
Barton. Belly laugh Barton.
Well, now, look, Belly. Forget hope, and I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll give you $37.50 a week and a case of Jell-O every Saturday night. How does that strike you?
Well, I don't know. I'll have to talk it over with my manager.
What do you have to talk it over for? Look, kid, Jell-O is good for you. It's delicious. And not only that, this year it's got that new locked-in flavor.
Locked in, huh?
Yeah. The flavor never goes away. We put it in, and it's there to stay. Now, sign here. Right here on the dotted line. Come on, kid.
Okay, let me out of the corner.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, it's a deal, kid. See you at my house tomorrow morning. Come for breakfast and bring some coffee cake. So long.
Goodbye. Here he comes, boys. Act nonchalant.
Well, sorry to kept you waiting, fellas. Okay, Dennis, let's have your song. Belly Laugh Barton. Gee, I hope he lives up to his name.
I don't want to set the world on fire. I just want to start a flame in your heart. In my heart I have but one desire, and that one is you. No other will do. I've lost all ambition for worldly acclaim. I just want to be the one you love. And with your admission that you feel the same, I'll have reached the goal I'm dreaming of. Believe me, I don't want to set the world on fire. I just want to start a flame in your
That was I Don't Want to Set the World on Fire, sung by Dennis Day. And now, ladies and gentlemen, for our feature attraction of the evening, our version of that sensational motion picture drama, Dive Bomber. And I'd like to announce that this production will be done entirely in Technicolor.
How can you do Technicolor on the radio?
We're on the red and blue networks with a green cast. And Belly Laugh better do better than that one. Now, the opening scene is the laboratory of the famous flight surgeon, Dr. Bellamy, who at the moment is testing the reflexes of that ace aviator, Dennis McMurray. Curtain. Music. The Schneider test shows pilot fatigue, not far from the chronic line. Oscillograph, negative. What does the Ralph from Saint-Saëns test show? What does it show, nurse?
Pretty bad, Doctor. Look at this chart.
I don't like it. This man's flying days are over. He's through. Washed up.
You mean I'm not going to be an ace anymore?
To us, you'll always be an ace. Now, see. What else is there to check on this man?
Why don't you test his knee, jerk?
That's why don't you test his knee jerk? I did that already. Well, Lieutenant McMurray, I'm sorry, but there's nothing I can do. You're grounded.
No, you can't do this to me. I belong in the air. I've given the best years of my life to aviation. When I black out, I want to be up there flying. Understand? Flying.
I knew I should have taken that part.
But I'm not beefing. This had to come sooner or later. It's just tough to step out of the ring when the main event may be ready to start. It's tough, I tell you. It's tough.
No, I had to be Ralph Bellamy, stand around like a dope. Oh, well, I motivate the story, anyway.
You gotta give me another chance, Doc. Do you hear? Because of your...
All right, I'll give you another chance. Stop acting. Get out of here. Next time I'll see a picture before I cast it.
Snap out of it, Doctor. Let's get on with these experiments.
Oh, that's right. What am I working on today?
You're trying to perfect a transparent parachute so you can get suntan on the way down.
No, that'll never be a success. Come in. Oh, hello, Commander Wilson.
Good morning, Dr. Bellamy. I want to congratulate you on your experiments in counteracting aeroembolism.
Thanks. What? Oh, yes. I expect to have the arrows all emboled out before long. By the way, Commander, have you located an assistant for me?
Oh, yes, Dr. Bellamy. I've discovered a brilliant young graduate of Harvard Medical School. He's waiting in the room right now in the waiting room.
Good.
Come in, Dr. Flynn.
How do you do?
Dr. Flynn, Dr. Bellamy. Dr. Bellamy, Dr. Flynn.
Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. Mr. Hyde, well, I tried.
Please, Miss Crotsmere. Please.
Hey, she's not bad.
I'm pleased to meet you, Dr. Flynn. So you're a Harvard man, eh?
Yes, who's the tomato?
Dr. Flynn, Commander Wilson tells me...
Yes, I believe I have solved the problem of counteracting aeroembolism.
Mm-hmm.
For instance, why don't we make a bell?
Well,
Rubber,
don't you...
Pneumatic, inflated before the dive.
But...
that would compress the upper part of the body and stop the blood from leaving the brain. It can't miss, I tell you, it can't miss.
I had to be Bellamy. The most important part. Play it. Oh, well.
That's a brilliant thought, Dr. Flynn. You'll get a medal for this.
Oh, I don't want a medal. I'm not doing this for any paltry reward from human beings. Consider it my contribution to the progress of aviation.
Contribution. I knew he'd louse it up. Now, look, Commander Wilson. Flynn's idea seems to be practical, but I've got a better one.
What is it, Dr. Bellamy?
I'll demonstrate. Hand me a pencil, Miss Crotsmere.
Here you are.
Thanks.
Don't thank me. I'm not doing this for any paltry reward from human beings. I gave you that pencil because it'll stop the blood from leaving the brain.
A pencil?
What do I care about a pencil? I've got dozens of them. Dozens of them, do you hear? And consider it my contribution to the progress of aviation.
Even Crotsmere has a better part. Well, come on, Dr. Flynn. That bell of yours is a good idea. Let's get busy on it.
Okay, Dr. Bellamy.
Calling out to Kildare. Dr. Kildare, report to surgery.
That's the other feature. This is dive bomber.
Oh, pardon me.
Come on, Flynn. We'll make that bell, or my name ain't... How high are we, McMurray?
26,000 feet and going up.
Good. How does the belt feel?
It's a little tight around the ankles.
Well, pull it up. I tell you, Mac, this experiment is going to make me famous.
Well, Dr. Flynn invented it. Why didn't you bring him along? Ouch!
I'll twist your other wrist if you keep that up. How high are we now?
30,000 feet. You better put your oxygen mask on.
I took it home. I'm going to wear it Halloween. But I feel pretty... Uh-oh.
What's the matter, Doc?
I don't know. I felt a little dizzy there for a second. But I'm all right. How high are we now?
31,000.
31,000, eh? I gotta snap out of it. I feel kind of drowsy all of a sudden.
Doc, what's the matter?
I don't know. I guess it's the altitude. Guess this altitude kind of got me. Belt, pneumatic. It'll stop the blood from leaving the contribution. Yeah.
Doc, wake up.
Dr. Flynn, Dr. Bellamy. Dr. Bellamy, Dr. Flynn.
Well, here we go again. Now come the whistles. Gee, he looks so peaceful, I think I'll count sheep and join him. 1, 2, 3, 4. No, that's an eagle. 4, 5, 6, 7.
Well, next week brings Halloween, and Halloween brings fun and festivities, gay parties that call for good things to eat, like the grand dessert I'm going to tell you about right now. It's a real party treat, and yet an easy dessert to make. All it takes is a can of peach halves and a package of orange Jell-O. And when you have those two items, you're all ready to go. Just dissolve the orange Jell-O in hot water as you usually do. Then fill 6 wide sherbet glasses about 1/3 full and chill. When the Jell-O is firm, place a marshmallow in the center of each glass and cover with a peach half, rounded side up. Pour the remaining Jell-O over the peaches and chill until firm. And there you have an ideal treat for Halloween, a swell dessert that will make your Halloween guests say, you surely know how to give a party. Get a can of peach halves and a package of orange Jell-O tomorrow and make up this delicious combination. Juicy golden peaches covered with shimmering orange Jell-O. But remember, when you buy Jell-O, be sure to look for the big red letters on the box. Because only Jell-O's new locked-in process gives you all the flavor, always.
Tomorrow, when you make out your grocery list, put down Jell-O and write under it, write Jell-O puddings. Jell-O vanilla, Jell-O chocolate, Jell-O butterscotch puddings. Try them and you'll say, yes, Jell-O puddings are just like Grandma's, only more so. This is the Red Network of the National Broadcasting Company.
KFI, Los
Thank
Angeles.
you for listening to and showing your support for my podcast. If you would like to receive notifications of when new episodes are posted, please subscribe to my channel. Well, hope you enjoyed, and until next time, stay safe, wish you well, and as always, peace.